Testing, 1, 2, 3. I'm Cheyenne Nicole, and this is my channel. I can't ever speak to this man again. I recently came across the ick, the absolute biggest ick for me, and this one comes up so often. I like to call it the ew, but the kids call it the ick. It used to be called the cringe or rejection sensitivity dysphoria. It's a psychological thing that happens in your being where you are turned on, you are attracted, you are locked in, and then suddenly something happens and you are just disgusted. You are repelled instantly. I've been experiencing this more often lately, maybe because I've been opening messages more than I usually do, but it made me curious. So I went on a little deep dive searching for what it actually meant. And then I took it to my circle of influence and I asked as many girls as I could come up with and as many guys as I could come up with what their icks were. The ick is your body's alarm, internal alarm, trying to signal to incompatibilities. But it can also stem from fear-based triggers. So we're going to get into this a little bit later, but first I wanted to go over how someone can go from, oh wow, nice, I like that, to absolutely disgusted. And I actually have seen people very interested in me suddenly go from looking at me like this to getting the ick right in front of my eyes. And it happens, especially, this is a big one, when they hear that I do YouTube or am in the social medias. Which I'm not in social media like that. I just do YouTube, and then I do use TikTok for editing, just because YouTube's not up to par just yet. And that's always really funny because the men that do suddenly seem like they get the ick, I'm pretty sure stalk me on these here apps, and also probably are stalking a bunch of like half naked women at the same time. So it's fine. I digress. But I can see them go from, oh, and that's their own signal letting them know, oh, this is an incompatibility, or they could just be triggered and need to do a little bit more searching. So when I asked the women what their triggers were, online, the triggers that I saw a lot of women tend to have more triggers than men. I was worried when I saw the things that were icks to women. It was things like men talking about their emotions, men trying to problem solve. That's kind of what they do, you know? But I do understand the difference between trying to vent and talk to a man and him trying to solve the problem for you versus just listening to you. I can understand that, but that's kind of what having girlfriends is for. You have girlfriends so you can yak, vent. Because if you tell a man your problems, if that man even gives two clicks about you, it's kind of natural for them to let their process do the processing and trying to solve the problem for you. That's just my 2 cents on that. But the girls' list of icks were a lack of empathy, bragging, can't cheer for others, talking down on others, like a waiter, janitor, too clingy, mansplaining. Again, that's one, we're all different. This is a compatibility sensor. If you don't like a man that likes to mansplain or does mansplain or expresses himself, then that might not be the man for you. So these are your body's way of telling you whether you're compatible with somebody or not. So it's really for you to decide whether this is a trigger and this is triggering me and I need to do a little bit more research, or whether this is a deal breaker. Problem solving, can't go deeper in conversations. Dishonesty. This one was in both. The men was dishonesty, bad hygiene, bad manners, teeth, smelly, masculine, can't let them lead, can't get along with family members and friends, like it's just not cohesive environment when you come around. Invalidates feelings. I thought that was funny because, like I said, that was one of the main ones. If you look up on YouTube, what is the icks? You'll see a lot of girls saying men expressing themselves was an ick. And also there's a lackage of men expressing themselves. So I thought that was interesting that came up for a couple of the men that I asked, was invalidating feelings, whether it's their own or other people's, not clapping for others, bad attitude, can't adult. This one was the first one that came up on one of my shorts, was can't adult. If you can drive a car, you can start a washer or a dishwasher. I struggle with the starting of the dishwasher. I will load that thing up, but it's so new that all the buttons and locks, I makes my brain hurt, and I'll try and fail, and it kills me every time. But I understood that was not about me, but it was a sign of incompatibility. Unhealthy competition. If you can't clap for somebody else, just sit down. Just sit down. Cruelty. You can Google what that means if you don't know what that means, but self-explanatory. So, when you get the ick, there has been times where I just was not ready to actually date, and my being would seek out icks. I would be avoiding vulnerability and self-sabotaging. For example, I sat down with a guy, totally dope dude, great job, great personality. His cologne. I was like, his cologne, I can't ever speak to this man again. Great first date. I just wasn't ready. And looking back now, I can see how it was just a trigger. I was triggered. And I was looking for anything to be triggered because I really just wasn't ready. So sometimes it's fear-based. Sometimes we're triggered, and that's a signal to go in depth, because sometimes an ick can turn into something. If you end up being actually a really good fit for somebody, an ick can be something that is a quirky trait, like a snorty laugh, or just something that someone does, like their scent. You know, I didn't know if that was that guy's cologne or his scent, but who am I to ask a man to change that after a first date, is where I logicked it away and dismissed him. Yeah, so you have to really deep dive. Is it a trigger or is it a deal breaker? For me, I have surface level icks. Some of my surface level icks is, if you don't know how to work on cars, it's kind of an ick for me. If you cannot fix things, it's kind of an ick for me. That isn't a really big indicator that we are not compatible, because I am a flashlight holder. I want to hear you mansplain about the car, even though I'm not gonna understand none of it. Don't ask me to tell you anything back. I'm just gonna tell you, wow, that's crazy. That's gonna be my response. I am listening so that you can hear what you're saying, so that you can come further with whatever the solved problem is, because I understand you're not telling me because I'm gonna say anything that's going to help you fix this car. I can make you a sandwich. That's the compatibility for me. Also, Snapchatters, instantly. I'm like, nope, look. And there's been times where I've tried to get over these and be like, well, maybe that's just a me thing. No, if you are a Snapchatter, I immediately lose respect. I lose respect for you. I believe you don't value your man time. You are probably seeking out 20-year-olds, hoping that maybe you get some boob pictures for less than $10. That would just be great for your time. When you could be learning how to fix a car. You could be learning how to flip a boat. You could be learning how to shoot a deer. I'm sorry, if you don't like that, that's okay. You know, it is sad sometimes, but I like hunters. That's a new thing for me. I really like hunters. It's none of your business. A deeper level ick for me, those ones I'm like, maybe I can get past it. I have not ever come up to that and it not been a beginning level. I don't think we're incompatible. No, we're definitely not compatible. You know, it's only gone like that for me, for that ick. But the ones that I can't get past are you flying to my state for business or just because you wanted to see the area and thinking I'm going to meet up with you. And then going beyond that and thinking you're going to get a kiss from me. I don't know why you would ever think that, but you shouldn't have thought that. And the absolute biggest ick for me, and this one comes up so often, which I was very surprised nobody else had this ick. I've never ever heard anybody else have this ick, but being patronized. I might be broke as a joke right now, but I am rich. I am rich beyond means. I just haven't got my money yet. If you treat me in a patronizing way, telling me you'll give me the down payment for my car, telling me you want me to go search for properties to buy so that I can manage them, telling me you have jobs for me because you know that my financial situation is less than perfect right now, so that might be an in. Reaching out to me on a birthday or a holiday thinking maybe she's going to respond because I'm going to, you could get a present out of me. Thinking I need you to feed me while you look at me. No, sir. You know how many people feed me? People send me the sweet thank yous every now and then, maybe every month or two, every other month. Someone will send me a little something to treat myself. I love being treated. I love being spoiled. I do not love having a carrot dangled in front of me like I am some poor pauper pet that needs you because I don't need you. And it most of the time comes from really wealthy or successful men that do that. But every now and then, the men that are like middle class, low class also will do that. More so on like, it's your birthday. What would you like for your birthday? Why are you asking me what I want for my birthday? You're not going to deliver. We know you're not going to deliver because men that deliver just deliver. They don't need my help to deliver. So those things will instantly, you're going to be blocked. You're going to be no response. I absolutely cannot stand being patronized. And sometimes I'll try to go, hey, Cheyenne, maybe you're just triggered. No, this is a vile human being. And that's how I feel about that. The ick is something to pay attention to. It's telling you two things. It's either telling you, we are not compatible. There are too many deal breakers here. They can be the start, surface level ones that are saying, hey, you don't need to go down here. And you can ignore them till you get down here. Or you could be triggered. It could be your avoidance, your fear of vulnerability, you trying to self-sabotage. I just don't like their hair. I just don't like the way that they laugh or things like that. That is you just self-sabotaging. That is you being triggered. That is you needing to dive deeper into yourself. So that is all we have time for today. I hope that you liked this video. Tell me your icks. Tell me your surface level icks. Tell me your deepest icks. Tell me what you've learned about yourself through your icks or the ones that you ignored and then later regretted. We want to hear about those in the comments. And I will see you on the next video. I love you. Bye.